Bitcoin to new all-time highs and why I think that 160k comes up really fast. In this clip, I will explain why I think those targets are coming up until the summer is over. I will also explain the rotation that is going on into the crypto market, meaning altcoins. And I'm also about to explain why I think that we have a weakness until something like July 20. But first, a very important lesson that I learned in the past cycle is that cycles are a lot alike, but are very different. This was a picture that I saw all over the internet since something like May and start of June, and my view in the market is always resuming to some possibilities, something like 2 or 3 scenarios. Just like in the past YouTube clips, I've explained why I think that just copying fractals is just too easy in the market, and the market never deals the same hand twice. You better put that one on your wallet. Again, the market never deals the same hand twice. So in my opinion, back in December when I made this post, just copying this fractal from January 24, I believed it to be wrong and be too easy, and from here I summarized my market view into 2 scenarios. Either we pump from January into the 120k zone before the start of March 2025, or we are going to go down into the 75k area. And then the next update on that post from December 2024 was this one. As I saw this fractal all over Twitter and also on some YouTube channels, my market view summary was only one scenario to play out because this was very popular back then. Let's see, this post is from June 8th. I am 100% certain that this fractal from one cycle before is not playing out. So now you know what is the other remaining scenario in my opinion. Just ignore this, and as a last statement you can see here that I also made very popular a Romanian cultural saying, offering respect to our forefathers and traditions. Just ignore this one. If you are not from Romania, you will not understand this. Now, going further into my past clip, which I made something like a week ago, let's see what we're talking about then. Bitcoin is breaking out as we speak, and let's see some targets for next month. In my opinion, this July would be the best entry we can get in the crypto space, and I'm posting these things weeks ahead, if you remember this Twitter post, and of course the last clips on this channel. So if you are new here, so am I, so you best subscribe to the channel to see how I'm viewing the market and maybe get some good information out of this. Now we see the trend line breakout on this low time frame, and from a technical standpoint, this could mean a real breakout, retest, and then continuation. But in my opinion, what's going on this chart right here, in my opinion, this is a false breakout, which can get to a new shallow all-time high, maybe 113, maybe 120, until something like July 10 to 12. Then we come back in this channel before July 20. So let's talk about this one. 113k to 120k to something like 10 to 12 of July. We are on this path right now, and I'm outlining here also the July 20, which in my opinion is ending the weakness or chop zone, window of opportunity, etc. And to take what I said in the last YouTube clip, let's take this channel and see how this next 9 days would play out, because I can be wrong also about returning to this channel. While I don't care about specific targets, because I was already positioned, I also mentioned my strategy on this channel. If you remember past YouTube clips, this one with the alt season, I've explained my strategy owning Bitcoin and also going heavily into alts for 2025. Because most of my Bitcoin has been bought under 20k, and I will not buy it at 7x the price just because my next target is 160k. The Bitcoin that I got left, I'm just keeping it to compound target after target after target, and I'm selling some more to increase my cash positions into next year. Again, if you don't understand why I'm increasing my cash position into next year, just go watch all the clips. There's something like 9, this is the 10th. And for that to happen, I'm more heavily inclined to own all coins until this cycle is resetted. Again, with the sole purpose of increasing my cash position until something like Q2 next year. Go ahead and see these other clips, it will make sense. So basically what I want right now, because if you remember also a YouTube clip of mine, while we went up into the shallow all-time high, it was made something like the start of May. On May 30, you can see that the price was already correcting, and I wanted to see something like a wave 2 before continuing up, and the price action from now until July 20 could be something like a chop beneath this target of 120, or it could also bring something like this very fast and then continuing up into the 160 area that I'm targeting for something like a year. This was actually the post from June 2024, targeting first the 104k for Bitcoin and then another pullback just to continue up into this range right here with the 160k for Bitcoin. While this would happen on the rates, I've explained the whole story. So basically this scenario happened again. I'm reminding you that I like to break 100 scenarios into just 2 and base my whole market view and my whole positions, meaning 99% spot positions. I rarely do any lever trades. I really don't see the risk to reward in that, in my opinion. So from here, if you ask me, should I start a short position? I don't know. It depends on who you are. I'm just saying that this is me. From here, if the shallow pullbacks looks like this, I am looking at all coin positions to add more on the spot, or maybe we have a flash something like this, placing some more orders into the altcoin charts, just to be prepared for the next phase that, in my opinion, is August, rip up until the end of summer, start of September. So again, if you are new on my channel, just remember I am too. So place an order on the subscribe button and just press market buy, no limit, and binge watch all these clips because it will give you a sense of how I look at the market and how I separate the low time frame from the high time frame. Because if you remember in this post, when I wanted to see a wave 2, which is corrective, I also mentioned that we are going to go higher next into the summer and the start of autumn. So basically nothing changed for me, and this was my July 6th post. We were already in a chop range, and from July 10 to 12 I expected a final drop from this area right here. I've explained why it could be something like 113, maybe 15, maybe 20, and then some chop or consolidation or chop solidation, maybe a larger flush. I'm not betting on either one. It is a 50-50 for me. But either way, if this happens or this happens, it just confirms that from here, the end of July and the end of August and the start of September, this target should be reached, maybe more, maybe something like 152k. I'm never placing bets on fixed prices, and this road right here for Bitcoin, it would be my next take some profits, bank it, get it ready for the cycle reset. Again, if you don't understand what the cycle reset means for me, just go binge watch all these clips because they are free and it will take you something like 1.5 hours. Now, let's see if this is about to happen, because this is all speculation on my part. So don't place any bets, mostly lever bets, because I'm also not doing it. If this is about to happen and after some final drop into July 20, it doesn't matter how big or small the drop, what would I do if this happens is just increase some altcoins position on the spot. And then maybe the local top that I'm speaking of into this area right here for Bitcoin would be something like the start of September, and then another drop into the end of September. These are the main swings that I'm looking for, and maybe some people forgot about some last posts of mine. This is from February 16, 2024. And also what I talk about right now with this consolidation or maybe a pullback, these are the mini cycles in the big cycle that I'm watching. And I've been explaining since February 16 again, 2024. Let's see Bitcoin's price back then. This was a local top, explaining to people why 100k should not come now, but mostly a larger pullback before 100k, and after the large pullback we will see 100k. Again, I don't see 100k before larger pullback. I see it after. And I've updated this into the next one just about an hour ago, repeating that there are mini cycles inside the big cycle, and I don't see a larger pullback before 160k. I see it after. Maybe it's going to be that September drop, I don't know yet. I just want to see some price action before this window closes, because also I could be wrong here and we just reap from now until September and reach our targets higher. But as I would like to be prepared in the market and I want to adapt, I don't want to be surprised here if something like this should happen and everyone on the face of the internet should come and say, hey man, this is 2021 all over again. I told you so. Because remember that the market never plays the same hand or deals the same hand twice. And as we speak, Bitcoin is pumping to 120k, which is very nice for me. And how is this tied to the altcoins? Well, of course, you need first Bitcoin price action to be in price discovery, and you need that larger pullback that I was mentioning about to let some altcoins breathe, because if you remember, in 2021 we need bigger volatility to make the rotation possible in the first place, and the trigger will remain, as explained in the past clips here, that the Bitcoin dominance should make its drop from this 68 to 60k, which is a big area of demand that I've spoken about also on Twitter, and being tagged once, twice, 3 times, it looks very exhausted to me, and this would give the signal that the altcoins are also reaping, and we need Bitcoin to keep pumping and have some larger pullbacks on this road, and just sit on our hands to see altcoins try to catch up really fast. Because if this starts to happen, it will happen really fast, and most people will not be prepared, because this lasts something like 1.5 2 months or something, and the biggest drop in the dominance like this one is signaling the end of the cycle. Same as 2017, the biggest drop on the Bitcoin dominance is saying that we are already over with our cycle, and next up is the cycle reset, which again in my opinion happens during Q2 to Q3 in 2026. So what I'm doing right now is basically nothing, and I know that doing nothing is the hardest thing in this specific market, which is Bitcoin and crypto, because pumps like this happen really fast, and then consolidations and some chop happen slow, boring people to death, making them quit just for them to come back later at higher price. If I want a confirmation about Bitcoin hitting a potential resistance, because there is no resistance in price discovery, is looking at the Ethereum chart, which is landing on a big demand zone, also a resistance area, and some consolidation here, maybe a bigger drop, I don't know, maybe just some consolidation until that window of seasonality is closing, and then we'll see how the chart looks. Some of these altcoins that I mentioned in past clips, like CVX, like IOTA, like CRV, already hit some demand zones, again filled some orders for me, and now are spiking up in a demand zone that could mean some weakness on the short term, but I would not be worried, because again, the chart that matters the most is Bitcoin going into price discovery, and this is a good sign for altcoins. I also explained in the past clip here on YouTube that this 620-ish target for the S&P index in this July seasonality window should mean some more choppiness, which is a good breather for the small caps, and I also explained why. This on the short term only means that buyers are not stepping into S&P anymore. This is a buyer exhaustion, because buyers are looking at other opportunities after they made something like a 30% return on the S&P index, which is huge. They are now wanting to rotate, as every human being possible, those gains into other things to make more money. And then in my opinion, after this pullback is done, my guess was we are going below 6k again and then continuing up. This again strengthens my opinion that rotation already happened and smart investors are already been positioned into better opportunities. Now let's see how this develops until the July 20 window of opportunity. Until July 20, and I've explained why I look at this particular window, because this happened before, and it's a very small window that happened before also in 2013, 2017, and also 2021. The fractal differs, so the price action is very different, but the actual pivots are very clear. This week right here happened exactly on July 18th, and this week right here happened exactly between July 10 and 12. So again, just let the price action decide, because what matters the most is what is happening after July 20. It doesn't matter how this price action looks like, either this way or that way. We take it step by step, because this could be next leading into the start of September, and then another window of weakness developing from the start of September into the end of September and the start of October. And what happens next is a topic for another time. I am ready and positioned for it. If I'm wrong and this time is different, I wouldn't know what to tell you, but maybe the pivots are backwards, which is not my base case. That's why I'm looking on this July 20 time window to see if I get confirmation 9 days from now that this is happening next. We will see and we will update. Just be subscribed to the channel. We'll talk more in the next YouTube clip. And if you want to see this type of market updates going into depth and correlating with the bond market, also the big indexes, also how I use Fibonacci's and supports and resistances, how I get my price targets, and how I'm positioned into the altcoin market and also stocks and Bitcoin, feel free to join our members group. I'm doing something like 4 to 6 market updates a month. You can check out our website in the description. We also have a Discord channel which allows us to speak to each other daily. and exchange some more ideas. Be prepared also for different scenarios. And that's it for today, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day and have a great weekend. Take care. Bye.